Water quality monitors have a lot of equipment to manage. Sampling devices, meters, test kits, biomonitoring gear, and other supplies. And just as we manage our data, we need to manage our equipment properly. The two go hand in hand. By using a unique number for each piece of equipment, reagent, or standard, you can link all of your calibration information, maintenance log information, manufacturer specifications with your data. Directions and spreadsheets for managing your monitoring equipment inventory can be found within the Clean Water Team Toolbox. It's as simple as doing an internet search for the Clean Water Team. Once you've found our website, scroll down to the Clean Water Team resources and then select the Clean Water Team Toolbox for citizen monitoring programs. Within the toolbox, you'll find within Part 1, the basics, the DQM system. Go ahead and download the Clean Water Team Instrument Naming Conventions. Look over the naming conventions used for the structure of instrument IDs. These have been established for single parameter meters, multimeters, and those with and without auxiliary temperature sensors. We've also created naming conventions to be used for standard solutions. Next, let's open up the Instrument and Domain Code worksheet. Codes have already been established for parameters and methods. As you can see, we have an alpha code, and then a description of that code, and then the parameter for what it measures. For instance, CHLD measures chloride, and the parameter is chloride. DEP refers to a depth sensor or pressure transducer, and the parameter measures its depth. At the bottom of this list, you'll find domain codes. These are codes being used by individual programs. For instance, all of the equipment managed by the Clean Water Team is marked STB for the State Water Resources Control Board. Using the equipment inventory tracking form is pretty straightforward. Sequence is just when did you obtain that piece of equipment for your program, and then the ID that you've established. In this case, we have a thermometer that's owned by the state board, and it's the very first one that we've obtained. As you see, the parameter code is TR, the domain code is STB, the agency program inventory number is 01. It does not have a serial number. The device is a thermometer. The parameter is what it measures, and this measures temperature, of course, and it's a spirit-filled thermometer, and it's glass in plastic armor. It cannot be calibrated. It measures within a range of -5 to 45 degrees Celsius in increments of half a degree. Then we can log in information on manufacturer, the catalog number, purchase date, the date of first use, expiration date if applicable, and any replacement parts, when we've replaced those parts, who bought the device, who owns the device, and who's the custodian, because sometimes we do loan equipment out. And then we have a space for any manufacturer specifications. The Standards and Buffers worksheet is similar to that of Instrument Methods. We have a sequencer code, a standard ID, and so forth. In this case, the standard ID is STB-PH1. It's a state board pH buffer, and it's the first one that was purchased. The parameter is pH. Our description is that of a liquid buffer with a theoretical value of 7. The unit's pH and our date of first use, in this case, it hasn't been used yet, so we mark it as unopened, and it expires February of 2013. It does not have an NAIST or ASTM tracking number assigned to it. There are places for you to put in the manufacturer code, the catalog code, vendor's number, lot and batch number, in this case, NMUIH 121311. You can put in the vendor that you purchased it from, who purchased it, and then who is the custodian or operator of this piece of equipment, because we do sometimes loan equipment out. And then what was the volume of this standard or buffer? Any pigment? In this case it was clear, so there's no pigment. This was purchased March of 2010. Let's now take a look at the Standard Reference Materials worksheet. It again starts off with a sequencer number and then an ID code. In this case, a Standard Reference Materials code, SRM. We track the QC number, the number of bottles within the order, and this is one case of 24 bottles. The mixture within each bottle is residue and water, and our description is whole volume, ready to use. And the contents within each bottle is to be used for total dissolved solids and total suspended solids. We have places for you to place the expiration date of each bottle, the manufacturer, catalog number, your lot or batch number, in this case 52203, the vendor, the buyer, in this case it was purchased by the QA officer, and then the bottle volume and unit. In this instance it was a 500 milliliter bottle that was ordered March of 2012. Now that you have completed your equipment inventory worksheets, it's time to rename and save the spreadsheet. We suggest that you permanently label all of your equipment. On dark cases and equipment, use a silver-colored permanent marker, and on light-colored cases and equipment, use a black permanent marker. Equipment identification codes can be engraved on metallic equipment.